Who makes the best compact impact driver? Let's go ahead and torque test these on the L1000 here using the kit battery. So first up here we have the Dewalt DCF860 with that 8 amp hour power pack, producing 107.9. And the Dewalt DCF809 with the kit battery being a standard 2 amp hour there, producing roughly 64.8. The Makita 40 volt with the 2.5 amp hour, right around 85. The Milwaukee 2953 with the 5 amp hour kit battery, producing 103.5. The Makita 18 volt running that 3 amp hour kit battery, producing roughly 89.5. Metabo DEX with that 2 amp hour, producing roughly 50. And the Flex here, FX1371A, 6 amp hour stacked lithium, producing roughly 123 foot-pounds. Hilti 6-22 with the 3.95 amp hour, $97. The Skill 6739 with the 2 amp hour, $76.8. The Bosch 1800 with the 4 amp hour, $82.5. The Hercules, here we're running the 2.5 amp hour kit battery, producing roughly 96.8. So here we have that data, which is averages of multiple runs. Again, Flex is on top, followed by Dewalt here in Milwaukee. And rounding out the bottom, we have Metabo, the DCF809 Dewalt, and Skill. So a little bit different here when we're running the 4 to 6 amp hour battery with Flex still on top, followed by Hercules, Milwaukee, and then Dewalt. But again, rounding out the bottom, we have the Metabo, DCF809, and the Skill. Did test each one here with multiple different batteries. We're going to run through this pretty quick, so I would recommend pausing this if you're really looking at a certain one here. So the bar in the manufacturer's color is in forward direction, and green here in the reverse direction. Now Dewalt, roughly about the same as long as you're not running that 2 amp hour battery, but there is a slight boost using that 8 amp hour power pack. The older Dewalt, pretty much the same across the board, no matter if you're using that 2 amp hour or the 8 amp hour power pack. Makita 40 volt here, yeah, it really doesn't seem to matter which pack you're running. You do get a little bit boost in reverse. M18, as you go up, you seem to get a little bit better performance, and you do get a boost in reverse. Makita 18 volt, I'd probably stay away from the 2. Metabo HPT. Now we do see a little bit of a jump here going to the multi-volt batteries, and it's actually interesting that in forwards it produces more torque than in reverse. Flex, yeah, you definitely want to be running those power stacks. I'd probably stay away from the 2.5. Hilti, really didn't matter much once you got above that 2.5. Skill, yeah, a little bit of a boost going to the 5. Bosch, pretty much the same here. Yes, there's a little boost going to the 4. Hercules, to me, ideally you want to be running that 4 amp hour extreme performance. So one thing that's interesting here with 12 amp hour Hercules, yes, it is fully charged, but you will see so it makes you wonder if this battery is pushing the tool into an overload state. So like normal, I tested each one here on the driving rig, which most of you have seen before. Again, we're using new hardware each run, putting a consistent load on that fastener to gauge the speed of each impact. I'm not going to show you each run here, but let's just say I've gone through plenty of hardware here to get the data. So I did the same thing here with the driving test with some of the available batteries here. Just like the torque test, I'd probably stay away from that 2 amp hour. Same thing actually here with the 809. Makita 40 volt, doesn't really matter. Same thing here for the Metabo, pretty much the same. Makita 18 volt, again, I would stay away from the 2 amp hour. Hilti, yeah, it's pretty much the same. Again, a little bit of boost going above that 2.5. Flex, yeah, again, stacked lithium here is probably the better bet. Skill, a little bit of a jump. M18, yeah, you do not want to be running that 2 amp hour. Bosch, pretty much the same thing. I wouldn't run the 2 amp hour. Hercules, yeah, don't run the 2 or the 2.5. So very similar performance to the torque test. Here using the kit battery, we see the Flex, Dewalt, and Milwaukee here on top. And at the bottom, we see the 809, the Skill, and the 18 volt Makita. Now using a 4 to 6 amp hour battery, again we have Flex, Dewalt, Milwaukee, and the same thing here pretty much on the bottom with the 809, Makita, and Skill. Alright, so we have that driving data from the test rig. Let's go ahead and do a little head-to-head here using that data while using what I believe the best battery combination for these. Now yes, you may argue smaller or larger here, but this is where I think I would run these. They are considered compact, so keep that in mind. Skill with the 2 amp hour, 809 with that 5 amp hour power stack. Very close, but in this case, I'm going to give it to the 809. So the 809 versus the XDT13 Makita here. Yes, I know this is a little older Makita, but that's what I had. So we're going to run this test with it. Hercules with the 4 amp hour versus the Makita. Hilti with the 2.5 versus the Hercules. Metabo with the 4 versus the Hercules. Bosch with the 4 versus the Hercules. Makita 40 volt with the 2.5. Milwaukee with the 3 versus the Hercules. Dewalt 860 with the power stack versus the Milwaukee. Flex with the 3.5. So looking at those leg bolt times, yes, Flex on top, followed by Dewalt Milwaukee. Similar story from what we've seen with previous tests. But one thing that is interesting here is at the bottom, we now see the Bosch, followed by the Skill, and of course the Dewalt 809. So yeah, it's a lot of data, a lot of testing. So at the end of the day, how would I place them? Well, I'd put the Bosch here in last. Pretty expensive in my opinion, at least here in the US. You know, with the tool only of roughly around $160, and then that kit at $260 with no speed modes or a quick collet. Next, the Dewalt DCF809. Kit-wise at $150 comes with a 2 amp hour, which we know from performance standards is pretty bad. Again, no modes here, but we do have a quick collet. But I think now you have better options on the market. Skill, yeah, if you're running the 20 volt line, I can understand it. Now it does have a quick collet. Nice little LED ring there. You have the 3 modes plus that auto mode, and you can turn the LED on or off. So if you wanted to use it like a little flashlight, yeah, not the best performance, but also it's relatively cheap in a kit of roughly $100. Makita 18 volt XGT13. Yes, I know. This is an older version. This is what I had. We will test the newer version in a future video, but it did all right considering. Does have a quick collet, decent little LED at the base there, but you do not have any speed selection. The Makita 40 volt GDT01, middle of the road performance there. Nice LED setup. You do have your 3 modes here at the base with screw mode there. What's really quite interesting about this though is your mode selector is right above the trigger, so you can easily cycle between your modes down here on the pad. That to me would be interesting on an impact wrench. Other than that, again, performance wise, didn't really seem to matter what battery we ran. Even running the new tablets, we didn't get much of a boost here. Metabo HVT, price wise, you know, roughly I think the kit's about $150. Bright LED under the head there. No modes. Lifetime warranty though. Did act kind of interesting when we went to torque testing. Seemed to go into a low power mode there. As you've seen, the torque wasn't the greatest. Hilti actually performed decent. Yes, it is extremely pricey at roughly $220 just for the tool itself. Now you do have a quick collet, LED ring there, 3 modes. Seems to be high quality, but you're paying the price here. Milwaukee, tri LEDs, mode selector here with 3 modes and then that auto mode. Perform pretty good, but one thing I don't understand is why don't we have a Forge 4 amp hour tabless battery? DCF860, newest one here. Of course, we got LEDs on the face there. Quick collet. 3 modes on the base with a 20-minute light option. Made in Mexico. Yeah, did pretty good, but it isn't the top here. And one thing I found interesting is they paired this with the 8 amp hour power pack, which more than likely is because this 5 amp hour pouch pack costs them more than the tabless 8 amp hour power pack. Because ideally, if you have a compact impact, I don't think you want to be carrying around that big battery. Gonna put the Hercules here in second. Don't care for the kit battery, that 2.5 or now 2 amp hour they're coming with. I think you need to run this with the 4 amp hour high performance running those 21700 Samsung cells. For the money, definitely when you look at MSRP wise, this is where it's at, especially when you can pick up these packs pretty cheap. Tri LEDs on the front, quick collet, 3 modes plus auto mode. Yeah, overall, I think this is a pretty good budget play. But coming out on top, gonna be the flex here. You don't have a quick collet per se, but you do have a quick insert button or eject button here below the collet. 3 modes on the base plus 2 different screw modes and the LED here. Decently priced there, but it's interesting this comes with a 6 amp hour stacked lithium. Ideally, I'd probably run this with the 3.5. So yeah, again, a lot of data. And I know, yes, I didn't test the newest Makita there. Let me know in the comments below which ones you'd like to see tested next. So yeah, first use there of a running line chart. I thought it was kind of interesting to see how the tools did while I was running the torque test there. That'll definitely need a little bit of adjustment. Of course, you've seen with the overlap. Let us know in the comments below if you have any of these and how they've worked for you. Of course, like normal, product links will be below. And the additional specs will be at the end here. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you on another one.